What's good? What's good? We back in the building. It's your boy B Neil, aka Emerald Thought, aka your favorite casual man. Y'all see the title. We back in this thing. Let me make sure everything's sounding good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We in this thing, man. So, new information came out from Tory's defense. A lot of it, honestly, making things look a lot better for Tory and his freedom, whether he deserves a retrial or whether he's going to get a pardon. And, I mean, from watching on the outside and pretty much being on Tory's side for at least saying that I don't think there's enough proof to convict him. Since, honestly, Meg came out, this is when I was interested in her story. From her first testimony of Tory shot her, I watched everything, every second of it, that live that she did. And just watching that live, a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of, like, I guess I'll give it how I just see things. Like, when someone's talking to you and they're like, oh yeah, bro, I was making $100,000 a check or some shit. You just kind of like feel like the BS in them. Like you look at them with the gleam look, with the smile. You just give them, oh, for real, bro. Like you listen to it where it's like, even though I have no reason to doubt what this person is telling me outside of the story that they're presenting me, it's just like the things don't add up. I'll be like, oh, what's your job title? Motherfucker might be like, I'm a cook or some shit. I'm like, okay, bro. It's like, you make $100,000. I'm just like trying to throw a scenario out there where it kind of make sense. And that's kind of how it was listening to a story from like how it escalated so quickly to just a little bit of everything about, like I said, the story. It's been so long. It's been over 3 years, I think, or 3.5 years since the initial things dropped. But the reason I got into that is just saying that I've kind of been on the side with Tory most this whole time from the beginning. Then when I seen his take on what happened, it made me go even more to his side. But more than ever, I've seen the fans, I've seen the public, I've seen just random outgoers. Salute, thank you for pulling up again, real one. I say a lot of people had always been on Meg's side for the most part, and if you were a Tory kind of like advocate, like you was kind of being called a woman hater or like so many different things, bro. Honestly, it's like it's hard to quantify all the different things that people's getting called. Now you're anti-black, all these different things. So with that being said, I think now more than ever with this new information, people are on Tory's side, like I said, more than ever, and I think it's pretty huge. And I think a lot of people are not asking for a retrial. I think a lot of people are questioning how did it even get this far? How did Kelsey be able to get pretty much skate-free throughout this whole situation? Knowing what Sean Kelly said, knowing all these different things. So, yeah, with all that being said, I forget the name of the website. I think I had bookmarked it actually. So, yeah, with all that being said, a lot of things have a lot of people just looking at things a certain way now. And I don't even think he deserves a retrial. I think he just needs to be sent home, if you ask me. I believe with the amount of inconsistencies, with the amount of things that the prosecution was doing under the table, with the pretty much all the witnesses you had were like, what's the shit called? Knowing like integrity or like I forget what it's called, the real word for it, but they pretty much like all of that beef with the lies, from the statements not matching up, from the just talking to the prosecution to the getting on trial, to if you want to talk about the whole span of the 2 years before the trial actually came on. There were just so many fucking lies, bro. But Tory's team came up with a website kind of going over everything and how they seen it and how they think Tory should get free. And we're going to kind of just go through it as quickly as possible, even though y'all know me, that's almost impossible. The truth uncovered, suppressed evidence proved Tory Lanez is innocent. All right, truth becomes clear when facts come to light. You know all these. All right, fact checks list. Megan told the police doctor she stepped on glass, not shot. That's huge. I think a lot of people underestimate that as far as like you're talking to people when Tory Lanez is not even around, or when Tory Lanez is a dude, like, or Tory Lanez is like, it's cops in between y'all from when you was in the ambulance to when Tory was in jail pretty much at that point or in custody and you were in the hospital. You still going with the I stepped on glass shit. We see her step on glass. We see cops confirm that she stepped on glass. The only thing that made me go into like, this is like, oh, she didn't get shot, and she said she didn't get shot at that point. I seen blood in the car. Now, when you go look at Kelsey's legs, if I find some, I don't know if I had bookmarked the pictures. I don't think I bookmarked the pictures. Yeah, I don't think I bookmarked the pictures. So if you find the pictures with the jail pictures they took, how mangled, like those are some deep cuts that like wrapped around Kelsey's leg. And I never noticed that even up these holes. I've seen that picture 1,000 times. I never noticed how bad her legs was. That's enough cuts that just happened to have all that blood that I seen in the backseat. Because they did show after the trial ended, like I guess a month after the trial, they showed the pictures. They showed some of the stuff that was used as evidence. And with the blood in the car, that initially just made me believe, well, she had to either be cut before she got in that car or she had to be shot before she got in that car. We're seeing all that blood. But knowing that blood could have also been Kelsey's, and then when Meg actually started to bleed is when she stepped outside of the car. That's a new interesting set of which is a new theory and narrative. Because like I said, that whole time I assumed seeing all that blood in the car, it was Megan's blood. But like I said, with her, actually, we hear the glass, like we hear her step on the glass. We see the glass break. You see the liquid that's fresh from the glass on the ground. With all that being said, that's huge. Video officer confirms Meg stepped on glass, not hit by gunfire. Well, I mean, I guess if you technically they did say that. Sean Kelly testified 2 women fought in the street. One fired first. Tory was still in the car. Kelsey tested positive for gunshot residue. Her DNA was never tested, which is the most sus thing ever, especially when you tie in Sean Kelly testified 2 women fought and one fired first while Tory was still sitting in the car. She also had GSR on her, but we don't DNA test her and never test the gun to see if she was on it. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? EJ said an object in the girl luggage looked like a gun. He was like, most likely it was a gun. It was highly possible it was a gun. I just never confirmed, like, to your technicalities that it was a gun. So let's just say, like, for instance, I have a box right here. I'm still moving if y'all see all that shit in the back while unpacking. I have a box right here. And, like, let's just say one of the headphones is showing in this box. I can't confirm it's a gun just because I see, like, the tip. Or I just see the handle of the gun type shit. So with that being said, it's like, it's no different than what EJ technically was getting off on technicalities. Yeah, I seen like the object of a gun, but I didn't hold it. I didn't look at it. I didn't pick it up. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like the fact that he didn't verify it to the 100th degree that it was a gun, but he seen it most likely looked like a weapon. He was able to kind of, like, I guess the prosecutors was able to win that point. But once again, the defense kind of, I was shit on the defense because I feel like they could have did better. But at the same time, Holly Holmes or Sean Holly did that girl or did Tory so dirty by literally, she had 2 years of work. The prosecutors had 2 years of work to do as far as studying, coming up with their narratives, coming up with their train of thought, coming up how they're going to set out this case and attack Tory. And same thing that was supposed to be happening with Sean Holly, for her to pretty much, I think, 2 months before the trial, say, you know what, I'm going to just give it, I'm going to hand it away, and I'm going to let somebody else take over. Bro, that was the biggest sabotage in itself. People want to say, well, this other guy was a hell of a lawyer, but let's just be real, bro. That's just like saying, hey, guys, we're deep in the playoffs, and then your head coach dies, or the other coach, or some other person, like, he got fired or some shit, and you gotta make this guy the head coach. The guy that calls the plays, or calls the plays on defense or offense, one or the other. It's like, Oh shit! I don't. That's it. The team is gonna have a cloud over their head based on the sense of like, we don't know if we can get it done with this guy. We haven't prepared with this guy. We haven't put in enough time in with this guy as the head coach. So in any other circumstances, people will look at that as being put in a predicament. Tory Lanez's lawyer went into this case with a predicament. He didn't have the same amount of time as the prosecutors to work on it. And then when you backdoor, if Sean Holly was really shiesty like we think she is, who knows how much she told or didn't tell, or the passive aggressiveness that she gave to that lawyer in the sense of how to deal with this case. Like, oh yeah, that's not gonna work. Yeah, don't even try that. And because you gotta understand, like, she's maybe a more high-ranking lawyer than him, or just as high-ranking as him. He's gonna respect what she's saying. And a lot of times they come from the same academies and the same ranks, so bro, they really be buddy. So if a lawyer is kind of on the same page or some shit like that, a lot of like, and she the one directly handing you the case. That's just like, I'm like, bro, I don't want to get into all that. But yeah, it's in reality, bro, if she was shiesty, bro, I could just have a feeling that when the case was going on, bro, like, well, when she was handing him the case and giving him all the information, she was doing it in a way that wasn't conducive for Tory Lanez's success. Kelsey receives rent-free after the shooting. Who paid and why? EJ said an object in the girl's luggage looked like a gun. I didn't even see that rent-free for a year. See, that's interesting as fuck, because you just think about it, bro. Just think about it, bro. Could have been somebody on Rock Nation. Could have been somebody on the prosecution. It could have been Meg's team. Because you got to understand, both these girls lied immensely. And they lied synced up, and supposedly they didn't even meet. Supposedly they didn't even talk. So either someone was telling them that was in between both of them or something. Because there's no way, oh yeah, it's, when Kelsey said in the prosecution, Tory leaned over me or some shit, or Tory must have, like, I don't know what she said. And then he got, like, started shooting, and she didn't do nothing. She just let Tory grab a gun, start shooting at her best friend. She ain't fight, she ain't yell, she ain't scream or do nothing. That was her story. The same kind of story that Megan gave from her own perspective. Well, yeah, I seen Tory leaning over the front seat. He must have climbed into the front seat because he was in the back seat at first. We don't know how that happened. So how convenient are they stories? And I think the fact that their stories was convenient could lend to her having rent being paid free, and that's why, you know, she was more willing to cooperate. But after so long of animosity towards Megan, because we seen her have multiple, like, she had animosity even up to that interview that she did with those one podcast, I want to say like 4 or 5 months ago. She still had animosity for Meg. She had animosity for Meg in the trial. They was trying to bring up Tory, and she was like, but Meg should be held accountable. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, she created it. So I'm sure over the time, when it got closer and closer to the trial, the guilt, Tory maybe, her feeling that maybe Tory should get off and shouldn't be hung in a sense in this situation because she knows she was involved to whatever degree. And the reason I say that, because maybe she did shoot in the air, and maybe when the gun fell, something happened to a point where it did graze Meg. So in the same sense, she don't feel like she should go to jail, but she also know Tory shouldn't either. So maybe at a certain time, she starts to feel like, bro, I'm not trying to go to jail, but he should go to jail either, and that starts to weigh on her. So when she gets to the trial, she can't even remember when the last time she talked to the prosecution when she said. So it's like that seems to be like they tried to possibly pay her off in a way of giving her rent free, and when it got to the trial, it just backfired on them. That's what it feels like when I see that statement. EJ, we said that Megan claims she spoke out in response to Tory. DNA was not found in a magazine. We seen that. We're gonna kind of go through all this, so let's go. Let's move on. In her own words,
I ain't get cut by no glass, but let me tell you why they saying that.
Let's see. Let me switch this back. What the fuck? Oh, this shit not working. What is going on? My shit freezing. Charles Megan injured at the scene. stating she was cut by glass and not shot. Officers on the site confirmed that she stepped on glass. She be asking, do you think we're gonna go to jail? That's curious. There's nothing that's gonna persuade anybody either way of like what she's saying, unless you're just super, ready to just jump to a conclusion like how they did Tory's supposed apology. But I won't do that.
As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly, okay? But if you guys are not telling us, if you guys are, then I don't think I really cannot go to jail. Okay.
I really cannot go to jail. So she's definitely stressed for some reason when she's supposed to be the victim. That's a weird level of guilt that she's showing in a way when she's supposed to be a victim. Is it just because she got into a fight? Well, I would at any given point, even if she did get in a fight, most likely y'all not going to jail. I don't know. It's just weird. This is her energy. That's all I
cannot have that on my image. Okay. So how did that happen to you?
I can't have that on my image. Once again, I'm not the guy that's gonna jump to conclusions, but there's a couple scenarios that comes to mind. And I'll go to one that plays into her favor first. Even with her going through any type of drama at that phase of her career could help hurt her career. Even if she is a victim, when your life or when your career is skyrocketing, you don't want any hiccups. So, like I said, in her case, I could get why she could say that. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to have anything dealing with the cops or anything dealing with the, police or courts while I'm running through this phase of my career right now. And that's possible. But at the same time, another scenario, which would be more in Tory's favor, is if you're a victim, you wouldn't be so much worried about your fame because most of the blowback wouldn't even go on you, even if this supposed hiccup that you think would, affect your career. Most likely that's going to go out on Tory, especially if you're a victim. So it's just, once again, kind of, for me, being on Tory's side of the things, it's a red flag or yellow flag. It's weird.
Glass where? Where we were coming from.
And once again, she could have stepped on glass multiple different times. Honestly, she could have stepped on glass when she was fighting, and that's what could have led to Kelsey's legs being so mangled too. Because honestly, I don't understand why Kelsey's legs were so mangled, bro. The fight had to be either super vicious or they were just in a dangerous area on the side of a road where it might have been bottles and shit. Because, bro, it looked like a fucking cougar just wrapped around her leg, bro. It looks really bad, really deep cuts. And I don't think Megan claws or her paws, could have claws, whatever. If I'm calling her animal, I'm sorry. Her nails could have fucking got all the way into her like that. I just don't think. So if there were glass out there, it was a high likelihood there was glass out there. That Sean Kelly guy said people stop right there all the time.
I'm not from here, so okay.
People do that. But she said Tory's nowhere near around.
I didn't get shot.
Oh, you did? I didn't get shot.
Oh, man.
You could believe everything. The reasoning she said, no, I did it because I didn't want us to get shot, or I didn't want. But at this point, bro, everything's calm. You're already out the car, so that scenario doesn't necessarily explain everything. When you first getting out the car, this situation, when she said, I seen black men get killed, we got a gun in the car. I can understand that in this situation when you having to get out the car, still back. I could get that fear. But once everything's subdued, once everything is calm, ain't no guns being pointed from the cops or nothing, they pretty much talking to you at this point, I don't get that same level of fear.
Yeah, evidence of any?
You can't tell them nothing. And then on this angle, once again, I said I've seen pictures of the car, and the car seemed to have way more blood than this angle. Maybe the lighting's not that great, but this is nowhere near this amount of blood that I thought was in the car. Maybe maybe it's just a bad angle.
Shooting or anything? That's how we got dispatch.
Well, we have the gun here, and then we have other units. They're searching the house where it happened, so that's all we have so far.
So nothing happened in the vehicle.
Yeah, it's like a white shoe right there, and it's like I don't really see no blood on that. Like, I'm just saying, when I seen pictures, I'm just saying it seemed like it was blood all over.
No, we don't have any casings. No.
Okay, from what you've been told. Okay.
And then there's some cash over. Looks like.
Was the person who got caught with the other people here that you have in handcuffs? Were they all together?
They were all together.
Yes, they were all in the same car.
Okay. And then, do we know how she got cut?
I believe when she stepped down, there's a glass.
She dropped a glass bottle, and then I think
multiple cops thinking the same thing.
She stepped on it and cut herself, getting out of the vehicle.
Okay.
And this is why I say I don't even think it should be a retrial, bro. There's so much shaky evidence from the point that she might not even have been shot, bro. Like, let's be real. And unfortunately, I heard a point and someone saying if she did get shot or did get killed, unfortunately, she would have, like, in this circumstances with the evidence that they presented, he would have got off. Because it was just a lack of evidence. I think they said with the charges of evidence, the burden of proof is even higher than essentially like assault or something like that. So that was just an interesting take. I don't know the validity of that statement, but it was interesting.
It's right down in Florida.
So you see the bottle, you see her footsteps, and the interesting thing, my detective sense. There's no blood right here, like in this area. There's no blood here either, though. That's interesting. I'm just thinking, like, so did she jump from the car to here to here to here? Like, how did and then like her phone's here. So to some degree, she was in this area. I'm just wondering, and this is not a 100% thing, like, oh, I got it shut and sealed, but I'm just wondering, where's the other steps right here when she first get out the car? Wouldn't her foot be even more bloodier right here? Why does it seem like her bloodier 2 feet steps are like after the bottle in a sense? And when a bottle cracks, bro, y'all gotta understand, it's gonna be pieces we can't even see in this area. It's not gonna just crack where the spill is too. So I'm just interested in that thing I just noticed.
Yeah.
Tory, rear passenger, step out of the vehicle.
You hear the bottle fall, you see the bottle fall, and then you're gonna hear her actually step on it too. So let's see where her first step at, because I just asked. It seemed like her first bloody steps was right here on the side. I think the sidewalk starts like right here. Yeah, the grass is right here. So the sidewalk starts right there. Or let me go back real actually. Okay, so this is all the street. All of this is the street. Okay. This is all the street. The street just ugly as fuck. Alright, let me just go back. Just trying to notice. Alright.
Show us your hands.
Let's see how close her first
Hold your
step
hands up. Okay? Come on, people passenger with her hands up. Hands
Boom. Her first 2 steps were immediately, she stands up right outside the car. She takes a step, and we're going to see her take a step. There's no blood when she first gets out the car. When she take them second 2 steps, that's when you see the blood. It's interesting. Let's just go back. I said, maybe it's the Virgo in me, bro. I was just looking at my horoscope. They say I'm good at noticing shit. And I used to be the guy that tried to break down fake shootings and shit. So I used to get into this shit. So her first 2 steps were right here, bro. Right here. There's no blood. And I'm assuming the more she steps, the closer she's going to get to glass. So she might have been stepping on glass when she first got out the car. Just how glass shatters. And when she starts to take those first steps, it starts to cut into her foot. And then she takes 3 steps where there's blood. But there should be blood. I mean, maybe you could say there's no great lighting right here. As soon as she got out the car. If she got shot in the foot. I think this is a shut seal right here, honestly. Let's look again.
See your hands.
Last pause.
Show us your hands.
She doesn't jump out the car. She
Hold
just
your hands
immediately
up.
out the car.
Okay? Come on,
Takes
people got
two
here with their
steps,
hands up. Hands up.
stands up, steps on the glass.
All right,
Again,
move
she
back to
kind
the
of
sound of my
hops on the
voice.
sidewalk.
Keep your hands up. Move back
Now
to the
she's
sound of my
stepping on
voice.
glass.
Move back.
Boom, boom, boom. I think them the 3 steps that we see with blood. Right after she steps on the glass. If you ask me. If she had gotten a shot in the foot, she should have been bleeding in the car and bleeding when she pretty much stepped out initially. There should have been blood. Maybe it is blood and it just wasn't great enough light to see. But you see how clear those other footprints was, and it's almost like there was nothing. You see how, like, I feel like we'll see a glimpse of something.
Yeah.
See these 3 bright red steps, and then you don't see any blood right outside the trim of the car. Nothing. Nothing. Call me crazy.
Sound of my voice.
Let's just run her back, stepping over the glass, and we'll move on.
Okay? Come on, people passenger with their hands up. Hands up.
You
All
were
right,
clean
move
step
back to
on
the
the
sound of my
shit.
voice. Keep your hands up. Move back to the sound of my voice. Move back. Keep going. Keep going. Hey, stop.
And then she, like she said, she didn't get shot. We seen her step on glass. We seen the cops see she step on glass. We see the body count. See she step on glass. And we got a fucking trial. This bitch got shot. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. This should not even get a fucking retrial. If anybody would just get a little bit of fucking reading or watching, bro, what are we talking about? The prosecution decided to make up a bullshit case, bro. Better angle. Let's look. There's no fucking blood. There's no fucking blood until pretty much she stepped on that glass, bro. Tell me how. Somebody, please.
Yeah.
That man was potentially murdered, almost murdered, because of this fucking woman.
She cut herself when she stepped out.
She cut herself when she stepped out. She cut herself when she stepped out.
She cut herself when she stepped out.
So that's potentially the 3rd different cop that said that. We seen the 2 cops. One of them, that male could have been the same male. We don't know. I don't know. But it's potentially 3 different people that saw that or said that as a cop. We know a female said it. We know at least one male said it. We go back and analyze the other male. Who knows if that was the same voice? The other male sounded like a white dude. That dude kind of sounds Spanish. So let's just say that's about possibly 3 different cops that on camera said that.
Move back to the sound of my voice. Move back. Back.
Oh, she cut herself.
Keep going.
Oh, she cut herself.
I get to the motherfucking hospital, the police bitch being so rude to me. Well, what's going on? Like, da-da-da-da, you're being detained, da-da-da. Ma'am, I'm being detained, I'm leaking. But I'm still not saying what happened.
And so what happened with you were just one ball stepping on glass. I really cut on my right foot. I just stepped on glass the other day. So you were already hurt when you got.
That don't seem as aggressive as she said it was. So that just stuff like that just speaks to the inconsistencies. And by the way, none of this stuff was shown in trial. The only thing that was shown in trial was Kelsey's shaky ass prosecution interview.
So, since y'all hoes so worried about it, yes, this nigga Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicist and
I've been on Tory's side this whole time, so the level of cringe and like evilness that I get from this girl is just like it's so like deep. We see the anaconda. I mean, not the anaconda. We seen the snake shit that she did. We seen the devil shit she do. She's definitely on the side of the sameness. I mean, she hangs with Rock Nation. Beyonce and fucking Jay-Z are saying this. So it's not surprising, right? But I just want people to get into the narrative, or just think from the narrative. You don't even gotta believe it. Just close your eyes and imagine, head ass. If this girl was really fucking lying, and she didn't even get shot, to a point where Kelsey or Tory, people that cared about her, could go to fucking jail. Cause she wanted to lie and say she got shot, when whole time, bitch, you stepped on glass. Yeah, Kelsey let off some shots cause she was pissed off. She let them off in the air. Even Sean Kelly, when he tried to say Tory was shooting, he never said he aimed it at Megan. He said he was shooting all over the place when he changed up his statements on the trial. So even in that scenario, if we just changed Tory to Kelsey, Kelsey was shooting all in the air. Okay, that makes sense. She was angry and she let that bitch off, but she ain't shoot Megan. So now Kelsey or Tory's on trial because Megan decided to come up with this lie and go with it. I don't know, because of Rock Nation pushed her over the edge. I don't know if it's the Perez lady that's supposed to be some nasty woman. I don't know. But essentially we know that it's a big chance she's a bold-faced fucking liar. And essentially she almost got a black man killed. Essentially modern day hung this man in front of the whole world based on a lie. That's a level of evil, bro, I don't think people are talking about enough yet.
And your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying.
Nobody was going to blogs. No one was talking about this shit. I swear to God, there was nobody talking about this shit. No one started talking about it till Megan made the video. So if she did see some shit, it could have just been her own fucking subconscious playing tricks on her. Cause you know how people are, bro. Like you in the echo chamber of an emotion. You gonna read what you want to read. You gonna be reading in between tea leaves and seeing whatever you want to see. Is what I'm trying to say essentially. So if you did actually feel that way and you feel like you're justified for going on a rant, there was no real public sentiment out there that actually backs what you're saying. Like there's no proof, and they never could even bring up the cases where there were examples of Tory people doing it before she made this law.
Why lie? I don't understand. I tried to keep the situation off the internet.
I'll be right back. I gotta wrap this up in about 30, 40 minutes, man. I gotta go to work, but what I'm about to say. Another thing about this too, how she said she tried to keep this off the internet. She also talked about how she wasn't going to the cops until blase this happened. She had went to the cops a week before this live. So even her way of presenting a story, it was a way to enrage people's emotions, cause she's not telling the truth. Who knows how it would have shifted anything? I don't know. I'm just saying, she definitely went into it with a crafted narrative, and it wasn't the truth. Cause the truth was, I had already went to the cops, and now I'm coming on Possibly Live because I'm just, I'm fed up and I'm in my emotions. That's possibly the truth. But don't, like how she tried to gas it up like it was this and that, and I wasn't even gonna do this until she was gassing. She was gassing, putting a lot of salt on it. Timeline contradictions, and this gets into it. Megan posted about being shot 07/15/20. The next day she goes to the cops. So I didn't even know she posted about it. The narrative that Brings Me reported about Sunday morning events is inaccurate. But it's inaccurate why? Because you said it. On Sunday morning, I suffered a gunshot wound as a result of a crime that was committed against me and done with intentions to physically harm me. I was never arrested. The police officer drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery and removed the bullets. So based on what she's saying, when she first went to the hospital, she had surgery performed on her. That's a lie. The guy said he had to take out glass, and it wasn't no like real damage that needed to be done as far as that. Even like the the lady that came after, like the plastic surgeon, said that there was no, everything was already sealed up to a sense where there was no extra work that needed to be done. So like that surgery, like even the first doctor said it wasn't no bullet fragments and anything like that. So that's a lot. I'm expecting to make a full recovery. All right, blase. Megan names they started to the police. So that's literally a day later. And then a little over a week later, she goes live on his birthday, which is also, once again, very fucking evil in itself. Very fucking evil on itself. Megan names Daystar as the shooter. So she goes live. Oh, but this is not her actually telling. This is not her actually saying what happened. And then, let's say a month, almost a little less than a month after that, and she goes live on his birthday, she names him as the shooter. But she had already went to the police over a month ago. A month and 4 days ago. So, with all that being said, yeah. Then they start tweets for the first time. To my fans, I'm sorry for my silence, being respectful. I got time today, 9 p.m. And he goes live. I know you told the police that you stepped on broken glass. About 4 days later, did you come forward to the police and tell you who shot you? Yes. And was that to the detective? Yes. In those 4 days, I think this all Megan stuff. I thought they was trying to say what Tory was saying.
I never put my hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud. Like, this was one of them times where it was like...
Once again, a crafted narrative. We know there's multiple testimonies on Meg get crunk. Now all of a sudden she's this quiet, humble, submissive girl when it's in the face of an argument and controversy. Even though she told a nigga, my artistry, I'm bigger than you. But she made sure she didn't raise her voice. She made sure she didn't really say anything. She made sure she didn't put any hands on anyone. She made sure to tell you guys I didn't sleep with Tory. All those different things were very crafted narrative versus someone that's telling the truth. Like, y'all don't find that weird, bro? Like, if I'm telling the truth, bro, no matter what, even if I did have sex with him, that would just add to my motive and my, like, cause say this person did do that and we did have an intimate relationship. If I lie and say we didn't have an intimate relationship, that probably could mess up the motive, cause it's gonna be like, well, why did he jump so seriously? Why did he act so seriously? So no, be truthful in what really happened. If a guy did you wrong or came you forward, you tell the truth. Yeah, we did have these sexual relationships, and that's what made this emotional tirade even worse, because we had so much emotion behind it. Like, that's the truth, bro, and it would help your case. But when you're trying to craft the narrative and you're trying to be more slicker than you are, you think you're crafting shit that really just goes against you, honestly, bro. Because Sean Kelly shit on all of this. We already know she fucked Tory Lanez, and then she shit on him by saying, yeah, I lied to that bitch. Even calling Gail a bitch, like, that goes into the sentiment of she's not this just humble, passive, very sweet lady. Like, no, it's like, if she's saying bitch on the sense of, like, just everyday conversation, imagine how she talks when shit get real. Like, come on, bro.
It shouldn't have got this crazy.
It shouldn't have escalated to the way that it did.
So I get out the car and it's like everything happens so fast. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance, and he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, he's shocked.
Even not how fast that it happens, like, oh, I just got out the car. Nothing happened besides me being kind of in an argument. It was mostly between Kelsey and Tory. And then, you know, the second time I decided to get out of the car, you know, he just decides to fire off at me. Like, even how that sequence happened, it just seems like, you know how, like, emotionally, like, of a tyrant Tory would have to be for, like, something like that fickle argument, maybe about his career, as far as what Megan said. Because I don't think, in this situation, I don't think Megan brought up the situation where Tory brought up they slept together. So it's like, based on that is why he got out the car and said, dance, bitch, dance. It's just weird. It's just weird. And then it just discounts everything Sean Kelly said. All right, so this is the mangled legs of Kelsey And for me, I don't think that's done by Megan lashing out at her legs. I think that's done when Megan, by the time she get out the car, because supposedly Megan was kicking at first. By the time she get out the car, maybe she's dragging her on the ground or some sorts, and there's possibly glass on the ground or something sharp enough to get her leg mangled like that. Because I don't think that was done just based on the fight. Damn, I ripped the fuck out of this real up. Fucking bitch. Trying to do it while talking. But that, and then I think that's probably what was why the blood was so much blood in the car. Initially, when I seen those pictures of the blood, I always thought it was Megan's blood, based on something happened with her. But now seeing Kelsey's legs being so bad, yeah. Eyewitness and physical evidence indicates physical fight between Megan P and Kelsey Harris. Kelsey had open wounds and cut on her leg that was actively bleeding. No injuries were reported on Tory Lanez. The fight was between the women. Who snitched? I ain't never went to the police with no names. Thought a bitch got her chain snatched, caught her lost, had to say something. Like I said, man, people seen Kelsey popping out, talking crash shit to Megan, and was just like, yeah, no, it's most likely Tory. I just like, bro, this type of stuff be feeling like social experiments. And even if it is real life shit, I feel like they make it a good opportunity to see where the society lies. And I honestly, I be thinking this shit is a form of programming, because it doesn't be divisive. The men and the women be fighting. The red pill versus blue pill men be fighting. Like the women versus the conservative women versus the ultra liberal women be fighting. Like, so it's definitely a heavyweight fight. It's definitely getting all the views and the attention. And it just seems like at a certain point this should be a social experiment, because I just think if we go by the laws of fairness, if we go by the laws of this was your son, if we go by the laws of this was you, how would you feel in Tory Lanez's shoes based on the evidence that was presented? A lot of people wouldn't feel the same way about this case. When they take Tory Lanez out of it, when you take Meg Thee Stallion out of it and just say, this is what's presented. This is John Doe A, this is John Doe B. Most people would not feel just in convicting that person when there was a John Doe C that got immunity. Like, I'm just saying, like, if you throw all the factors into this case and this was your son, you wouldn't feel right. Or if this was anybody, it ain't even gotta be a son. You just wouldn't feel right. Even with Kelsey, is there enough evidence to convict that Kelsey shot Megan? No. Honestly, at this point, Megan can't even say that she got shot 100% and prove it. There's no bullet casings. They won't untestify. I mean, they won't unseal the gun, which, I mean, that wouldn't even really matter at that point, because the bullet fragments matter more. Can't find those. Multiple people saying she stepped on glass. The first initial doctor that had nothing to do with Rock Nation, was not no personal doctor or anything like that, said it was glass. So it's like, with all that being said, it's a good chance that Kelsey wouldn't even be convicted based on, if we just said John Doe A and John Doe B. Now, when she go to jail is a different story, because she did still probably shoot the gun.
The people in the neighborhood, there's a witness. When the police came, because the neighbor...
There's a witness that wasn't even on the prosecution team. Ain't that weird? The defense used that witness, but y'all didn't. And the best thing y'all could do is meet with him 2 months before to get him to change up his testimony, which he completely did. That was the only way. But the fact that they didn't put him on actual stand as they witness, when, like I said, if this was the truth, if everything was just truthful that the prosecution was presenting, why wouldn't Sean Kelly be on the stand? Why wouldn't the bodyguard be on the stand? Wouldn't they be helping prove your case as far as on your team? Like they was on the stand, but they was on the stand as the bodyguard wasn't. But Sean Kelly was on the stand based on the defense bringing him up there. If the defense brought him up there, Sean Kelly might not ever been in the courtroom. Y'all don't find that weird? The other witness that technically had no body affiliation, no bias, because even to the bodyguard, you be like, well, he worked for Tory. But I mean, at that point, it's still perjury and all that other shit that person is liable to. And that's why you still put that person on trial. But regardless, that's it. Very interesting. that they didn't want to use Sean Kelly. So now we're getting to Sean Kelly, the guy that honestly from the jump is the reason why I knew Tory should have got off. When I started to see this Sean Kelly evidence and testimony, I can't remember the timeline of when this stuff start to come out, or the information about him being on the defense team start to come out. But when I start to see this, bro, I start to get even more locked into what I believed.
Wait.
No, it didn't. No?
They shot out of the car?
The windows were open, that's why it sounded like either way. Yeah, I didn't know. They were on my side. The girl opened the door, it was two girls fighting, and then they shot. Okay. She got out of the car and crawled over him.
She got out the car and crawled over him, is what he said?
Two girls fighting, and then they shot. Okay. She got out of the car and crawled over him.
I'm trying to see where was that. And what did you see next, sir? They were fighting. They had started fighting. The two girls, yes. And when you say the two girls are fighting, could you describe them to the jury, what you observed? What they say they were doing and what they were doing, fighting about. Nothing about how, were they fighting. They were pulling their hair and hitting each other, and it was quite violent. This initially, when you still only see the two girls, correct? Yes. So even with that being said, I said the integrity of the witnesses are so fucking shaky, bro, because neither one of them on stand. Because you gotta understand, Sean Kelly took the stand after Megan, and I think maybe before Kelsey, but Megan completely did not talk about any fighting or anything like that. Which is, once I said again, when you telling the truth, regardless of if you got shot or not, the truth would only help prove your point, because the truth can never hurt. Like, that's just reality, bro. So them trying to make up their own truth and reality seems weird. Nothing about how they were fighting. They were pulling hair. It was quite violent. And what happened at this point? Was the fight continue? Was it stop? They were fighting for a while, because I told my son to come in my room and I asked him to get in my bed. And then when they were still, they were still fighting. It was all bent over, so they're wrapping each other, fighting. So that just contests to them fighting. All right, Sean Kelly testifies two women were fighting, and one of them fired first shots while Tory was still in the car. He said Tory got out afterward and tried to take the gun away. And how different that is from after he met with the prosecution right before the trial. Because you gotta understand, this was his first statements when he, if I'm not mistaken, these are his first statements when he first met up with the cops, when the shit first happened. And the thing is too, what's sealed, we never got the phone call. We never got that unsealed. I would love to hear the phone call as well. But even with these testimonies, when he first talked to the cop, this was fresh on his mind. Shit just happened. There was no narratives being formed. You gotta understand too, just like with the jury, they gotta see if you could be swayed, right? After 2 long years of the nation covering this, and at a certain point, Sean Kelly gonna know who he seen. When he first seen the shooting, he had no idea that was Tory and Megan. So he had no, like, just 2 black people fighting, or 3 black people, 4 black people in a scuffle, or whatever the fuck it is, and essentially that's all he's seen. Now, as time goes on, he's drawing pieces together. They start to report, oh, Megan Thee Stallion was in a shooting in this neighborhood. Like, the dude gonna draw conclusions. And then as the narrative starts to shift that, oh, Tory was the shooter, this guy's the villain, over those 2 years before the trial, that's another way that Sean Kelly could have started to feel like maybe I seen something different. People's mind works crazy things on them, or not even that. He just starts to change his narrative on, I'm a liberal or some shit. Who fucking knows? Or the prosecution. But 2 years is a long time, and you gotta understand at a certain point he was aware of what was going on. And it's just like the jury and shit like that. You have to check to vent them and see if they have any potential of being biased. And if that's the case, you don't want them on a jury. But with a witness, how can you control that? You can't. So I definitely think, to some degree, Sean Kelly over those 2 years was badgered by something to change his testimonies. Because like I said, initially, his testimony was the girl shot while Tory was in the car. And even on trial, he said that. But somehow he ended up saying like the girl must have maybe got off the first shots and then Tory grabbed the gun and he started shooting wildly. It's like he added that in there. Just like he added in, he thought they were going to throw him in a lake or some shit like that. Like he never mentioned that initially. So crazy. So when the initial shots, my bad, let me go back. The short gentleman didn't come out to the car. Okay, so here it goes. Did you state, sir, that the shorter gentleman didn't come out the car until the initial shots, fireworks had started? Yeah, excuse me, yes. So when initially the shots or fireworks had started, it was true that my client was still in the car. Yes, I believe so. The shorter man was in the car. Yes. And it should not, I believe so. Like, what do you mean, I believe so? That's why I said your people's mind can start to waver on them over 2 years when you start to play with emotions and morals and all these different things. Okay, and did you state initially you saw the two girls fighting? I did, yes. Did you say after you saw the two girls fighting, you saw one of the girls shoot, sir? I believe so, but thereafter, did you say that the shorter guy got involved at that point trying to take the gun away by objection, leading the court overruled? That's what I said, the witness, yes.
The doors of the Escalade open.
So this is initially right after the shooting, like either the same day or the next day, that whenever the cops came to interview him, essentially. But it was within, I know for sure, the week of the shooting.
And the girl come out and pull open the passenger door and started screaming and yelling at somebody in the car.
So the girl who came out of the passenger, you're talking about the front passenger?
No, the rear.
The rear passenger. So the girl comes out of the rear passenger and she goes through the front passenger?
Yes.
And she opens up the car door?
Yes.
And then what happens?
They're screaming and shouting at each other and they start fighting.
The two girls?
Yeah, I can see one like feet coming out trying to kick her and the other one's fighting, and then the passenger gets out.
So when she gets out, I'm assuming Meg maybe starts to handle Kelsey, and that's maybe when she slings her on the ground or some shit like that. And Kelsey maybe scratches her leg on the ground, something to that degree. That's why I think it could have been possibly glass. In that even before she stepped on glass outside, it's a possibility that both of them maybe had stepped on something or got cut by something. Just based on her leg injuries. And then after Megan possibly demoralized Kelsey so much once she got out the car, that's when Kelsey gets the gun, starts to shoot this bitch everywhere like, bitch, you're not gonna handle me like this, you got me fucked up, just to scare Megan, but probably not cause any real harm. And I even seen different, he said that he possibly heard dance. I didn't hear when I listened to it, anything's possible, but maybe Tory did scream something like, bro, if somebody starts shooting you, like, oh, what the fuck, like you might scream something. Who knows what he said? He could have done. I don't fucking know. I don't know what he might have screamed, but I'm sure he might have yelled something. Like if Kelsey started shooting out of nowhere, you're not gonna be like quiet. You could be quiet, but at the same time, I think a lot of people's reaction would be like, hey, what the fuck you doing? Like some shit like that to some degree. So even that kind of made sense that if you did hear some yelling from Tory, like he was probably screaming like, "What the fuck you doing, Kelsey?" or some shit like that.
So the girl who does the punching and the kicking is the girl that comes out of the back passenger.
Can we stop there? Because I don't want to. I'll tell you, and then I want to go. My son's on his own.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't want
and it's loud with the cars.
I don't really want to. So basically, the car stopped. The girl in the back got out, started screaming and shouting, ripped the door, pulled the door open, but pulled it so sort of viciously. That's why I presume the driver got out. She starts screaming. She starts hitting the girl. The girl then had to sight her feet come out. She starts to kick the girl away. The passenger. They get out. They start fighting here. They start fighting. The driver comes round and tries to sort of break it up. It gets a bit more violent. And between them, the girl then climbs back into the front driver passenger seat.
Where's the shorter black guy?
He's in the back.
He's in the back of the car? Okay.
Then the gun. Then the girl shoots himself.
You're seeing the girl shoot?
Can I help?
Sean Kelly said he seen them fight, he seen them shoot, and they still ain't touched Tory. I mean, they still ain't touched Kelsey. Y'all don't find that strange, bro? Like, oddly fucking strange. Like, extremely, like, couldn't be a coincidence, couldn't be an accident type strange. Like, maniacal type strange. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, something puppet strings getting pulled type strange. Even from the beginning, that seems very weird to me. That I don't know, because I mean, Rock Nation got involved hella quick. We already know that. Like, Rock Nation was, as far as Kelsey said, coming up with a plan when Megan was still in the hospital. So, I'm sure to some degree they knew what Sean Kelly had said, possibly. Or what happened, possibly. And I don't know whether somebody got paid off prosecution. I don't fucking know. But something is very strange to, you have the witness. The only witness not involved said they're fighting. There's GSR on her. He said that a girl shot. Plenty motive. And you still don't test her for nothing. It's weird.
Yeah.
And backdoor, within the same week, I believe, they go to the other doctor to get these x-rays that say she got fragments in her foot. So we know that Rock Nation was definitely scheming and dreaming. It's just we don't know how maniacal either them or the prosecution was, as far as saying we're gonna railroad them. Because it started here. It started here when the police hears this testimony and Kelsey never gets investigated, essentially. It's weird.
I think, is it this house?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
So you see the girl doing the shooting?
I see what appears to be the girl standing here and going shooting into the car. That's what it looked like to me. But it was dark and I'm above, but then the guy gets out again from the back.
Then he says the guy gets out from the back. Sworn eyewitness testimony. So we heard what he said. We're going to skip past this. Harris' testimony, inconsistent and unreliable. Well, I kind of already broke down the Kelsey inconsistencies. The fact that she needed immunity, we already know. Like, we can understand with Sean Kelly and what he said, what the both bodyguards or drivers said. At this point, we know Kelsey's inconsistencies. We already know that. So let's just keep moving on.
In the car, shooting from the car, Megan?
He is standing up over the window, shooting.
Went from once she said she didn't see, one time she said she didn't see, then she said she did see, then she said he's standing over the car. So much stuff going on that wouldn't even be based on what Sean Kelly said true. DNA proved that he's innocent. A forensic expert testified 90% of DNA on the weapon belongs to an unknown male, not Tory Lanez. His DNA was not found on the magazine. Software used analysis had documented instability and potential for false matches. The expert testified that if Tory had fired the gun 5 times, his DNA would be expected on the weapon, but it wasn't found. A female DNA on the gun, Kelsey tested positive for GSR, but her DNA was never tested against the gun. Tory Lanez's DNA was not on the magazine, and only 0.01% on the firearm. This amount is incredibly small, equivalent to picking a blade in the grass of a football field. So essentially, with that statistic, that 0.01%, like, that's like bacteria. Like when you got the fucking Germ-X or sanitizer. It can't kill every goddamn percentage, but 99.9 of them motherfucking germs is not on that, on your hand no more. And that's essentially Tory Lanez's situation. It's like, we can't never give a 0% chance that his DNA is not on it. There's no way, because he's a being alive. So if he's essentially a male, it's a possibility. It's a possibility that he could be on the gun. That's essentially what that is. Because when you break down that 0.01%, that means that I think they said it's close to a million or a billion black men could have been on that gun with that percentage. Like, that essentially. Like, it's kind of a crazy anomaly. The mixture of donor samples 5111 on the gun was estimated by STR Mix software as 90% 5, 3, and 2 donors. The donors' 90% of the DNA could reliably be deducted from the mixture of DNA, and it did not match the defendant. So he didn't even get a full 1% on the gun. That's insane, bro. He didn't even get 2% DNA on the gun. Like, that's insane, bro. A 0.01%, bro, is literally just saying, like, anything's possible at that point. Like, I could have got a 0.0% on 1% just because, nigga, it's black DNA or some shit like that, and I'm a black male. Like that's essentially how little they found to match Tory to that. No DNA profile could be detected. The latter indicates the DNA of the donors is not reliable comparison with possible donors. Now let's go back to the same with the magazine. You talk about the handgun. Can you tell us explain what the LAPD concluded after testing a swab as to the magazine from the case? Yes, when they testified the magazine, they saw that they had again at least 4 people, and so coincident, maybe not, they aren't together. The magazine and the gun, they may be similarities there. So they're saying the fact that it was 4 people in the car and it was 4 people on the gun, that's like most likely all the 4 people was in the car that touched the gun. It's like you could lean that way, but honestly it's not reasonable because it could have been another complete 2 other males that wasn't even in the car that touched the gun. I mean, maybe it was the bodyguard's gun, but it could have been EJ's DNA, or it could have been anybody's essentially. So, yeah, I mean, just because it was 4, that could have been, like he said, a coincidence. Or looking at that, that's absolutely excluded Peterson. He's not one of those 4 people. He's not on the magazine, and so when they had took a look at that, that's a clear exclusion. Can't be there. It's like, what are we doing, bro? In her own words, voila.
Why would I lie? You want me to be a bad person so bad, and y'all motherfuckers.
Why would she lie? Maybe she's just an evil person. Maybe she seen something in the game. Maybe Rock Nation wanted to do a sacrifice with Tory Lanez. Like, and they seen the opportunity. Who knows? Who fucking knows, man? Who fucking knows at this point? I'm just being honest. Because it's so twisted. I don't think people could write a better script than this. Well, they probably could, but to certain degrees, this would be a good movie script. Text message evidence appeared to be edited. I seen this, but to me, it was one thing edited, and at the same time, you shouldn't even have this as evidence of stuff like that was tampered with. Hold on, y'all. Hello? Hello? Bailey. But yeah, so stuff like that to me is like, yeah, it was altered. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to see you to the home. Yeah, I'm gonna be here till like maybe like 4:20. I gotta get ready to go. You could drop it in the back patio at worst case scenario though. Yeah. What's your gate code? Code down 45 right now. Pound 1956. Pound 1956? Yeah. Alright. Alright, I got a couple more minutes. So yeah, I mean, at worst you could say everything was like, this was completely faked in general, but who knows? Who knows? Text and evidence, author text by Megan Ting.
And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance.
So this is where they tried to prove that he didn't say that. To me, I just like, I guess you just gotta throw everything you got. But this is some of the stuff I don't feel you needed, but it is what it is. Yeah, he could have said, "Stop, bitch." He said something, yeah, but it's like you can't really hear it. It's still inside. Like, when I seen Ring camera footage, if this the Ring camera footage they were talking about, like, bro, I'm thinking the shit was gonna be facing outside. He could have said, "Stop." I just hear yelling. I can't really hear any, like, prevalent, like, parts of words stand out. Yeah, I can hear a damn bitch. Dan, like maybe you hear Dan's bitch, but I mean, bro, he could have said anything with the bitch in front of it. Like, and honestly, been talking to Kelsey, like, damn bitch, like what the it's just for me. It still go against what Megan said because she ignores the whole fight. She said he just hops out the window, like, so for him to still be sitting in a car when stuff first happened, it's like, I don't know, bro. Sean Kelly said what he said. Yeah, I sound like I heard "damn bitch" and like "stop." Like, maybe I'm crazy, but it's so hard to hear.
I'll get to the hospital. The doctors do X-rays on my feet. Oh, ma'am, you got bullets in your feet. You got bullet fragments in your other foot. I'm thinking the doctors is the police, so I'm still trying not to tell them, like, nah, I didn't know I got shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm scared. Like, I've never been shot before. I don't have to lie about that. Bullets in your feet. Got bullet fragments.
The funniest part is she said, the funny part said, I don't have to lie about that. I never been shot before. Just saying. I'm being funny because I know she was speaking in past tense, but it's hilarious. It's like, yeah, we know you've never been shot before.
I'll get to the hospital. The doctors do X-rays on my feet. Oh, ma'am, you got bullets in your feet. You got bullet fragments in your other foot. I'm thinking the doctors is the police, so I'm still trying not to tell them, like, oh, ma'am, you got bullets in your feet. You got bullet fragments in your other.
She said you got bullet fragments in your feet, got bullet fragments in the other one. That's not what the doctor said. The initial doctor that first met up with her did not say anything about it. Even the cops that first met up with her did not say anything about that. They said glass. So look, this is so they went to him the same day. Okay. I didn't remember what was the time frame. So this is the first doctor that met her. Described as the lacerations from broken glass. There is no mention of gunshot wounds, fragment, or ballistic trauma, as described Megan as pleasant. Is no acute distress. And then this is the guy that conveniently said he's seen gunshot wounds, but they don't have any of those fragments that he moved. Diagnostics: bilateral gunshot wounds. Based on imaging, he removed 3 small fragments under general anesthesia and called the wound superficial, yet performed surgery, claimed the fragments was bagged and given to police. But they can't find them fragments, right? And from this guy that met right before, didn't see any of that. He magically seen it. So either this guy is just evil, corrupts, hates black women, was just trying to go home, and he was like, man, there's some glass wounds. Just wrap that shit up and we out of here. I'm trying to go. Or it's this guy that's paid off or something to some degree. Because this is an ER surgeon, and this is orthopedic. I'm pretty sure an ER surgeon is more, just more, because, I mean, I'm sure they, at some degrees they both understand what gunshot wounds look like, so I don't want to shit on little, like, form of doctor of being an orthopedic, but the ER, I'm sure he's way more adept as far as understanding and diagnosing wounds and injuries than an orthopedic surgeon would. I would also assume that the ER doctor wouldn't have missed gunshot fragments. That's just my perspective. Maybe I'm crazy. And even then, he said it was superficial, yet he still performed surgery. So I was like, okay, I guess. Then you got 2 out of the 3 doctors. I guess it's a white lady, so you know, she's a Karen. And that's essentially what you have to say to dismiss her. Because at the same thing, she backed what the first doctor said. Plastic surgery described wounds as superficial, which all 3 of them said, cleanly closed, and x-rays showed no fracture, no minimal residual shrapnel, and Dr. Howard treated for infection and discharge with mention of without mention of ballistic trauma. So 2 out of the 3 doctors said we didn't see anything dealing with gunshots. Yeah, 1 doctor did, and the only evidence that he had was technically x-rays, but I don't fucking know who. Like, I feel like x-rays could be anybody goddamn foot. I don't know how you solidify this person x-rays for a fact. I don't know how that works. But the other evidence that really matters the most is the actual fragments you supposedly took out of her foot you can't find. Key medical findings. Let's see. The 3 bullets were saved, packaged in accordance to standard protocol, passed off to appropriate authorities. I'm not saying that word. Was the obtain of the bilateral feet demonstrating successful removal of the major bullet fragments. This was tiny fragments of retained missile that were noted, however, deemed too small to attempt to retrieve. So retrieval. So even with this is inconsistent based on what Anna Holloway said, because Anna said that she didn't see anything when she looked, versus Milton said he got the ones that he could get, but the other ones was too small. So why did Holloway not see that, and how did Anthony not see that? Because Anthony would have seen the bigger ones that was big enough to pull out, and probably the smaller ones. And then his x-ray showed the ones that were still stuck, I guess supposedly in the foot as well. But Anna Holloway completely missed that. I'm just saying. The fragments went missing at preliminary hearings. So they went missing hella early. Like, that's insane. Detectives stated bullet fragments were missing. And the thing is, were they missing them? Did we ever have them? That's the real thing. That's the real thing, honestly. And like I said, it could have been some people real scheming and dreaming hella early in the situation. Prosecutors later claimed LAPD had them inconsistent, suggesting evidence and mismanagement and miscommunication. Prosecutors claimed that the LAPD still had bullet fragments allegedly removed from Megan's foot. We already seen all that. Megan's faulty claims, and Meg records. On August 17, went to the club with an ace bandage on her feet, left foot, despite claiming had been shot in both. And that's 5. This is 5 days, bro. This is. Let me see. No, my bad. This is 9 months. So it's 2 months after. Wait, am I tripping? Hold on. August, I'm tripping. This is a month after she had got shot and had surgery in her foot. I don't know. Maybe that's enough time to heal up. So this is what she said. Well, there's a lot of pain afterwards. Yes, I could walk for a minute and I couldn't feel my side of my foot. Did you have nerve damage? Yes, I still had nerve damage. What did you mean by that? I can't really feel the left side of my foot. So none of the doctors said she had superficial shit. None of them said she had nerve problems. None of them mentioned anything to that level of severity, right? But she had these different things. Based on your experience, did you see anything there that was nerve damage or any of those sort of fragments penetrating to touch the nerves or anything such? Did you see that? We did not identify any nerve involvement on the left side. That was what the doctor said, essentially. Moments that showed Tory cared.
Address that the incident occurred, the shooting happened?
Nah, I don't know the address, bro. I was just trying to help my girlfriend. 1 second, bro.
Stay right here for me, bro.
Let go.
Hey, we got an ambulance coming for her, okay? Hey, bro, step up right here. We got an ambulance coming for her, all right?
Just a quick question.
She's gonna be good.
Do you have any injuries on you?
No, I don't.
Do you need an RN?
Do you want to talk about what happened tonight? Your girl to safety?
Well, one thing that it seemed like he possibly said to the cop in that situation was he was just trying to get his girl to safety. Misinterpreted apology. I mean, I spoke to this a million times. Prosecutorial. Oh, can't even get that word out. Prosecutorial misconduct concerns. Prosecutors intend to use Tory Lanez rap lyrics, tattoos, mentioning that Tory Lanez's right not to testify potentially violates his constitution. I mean, I don't know the necessities of that, but I know they was definitely threatening him, like, hey, we're gonna try to tear you down and stuff like that. Not threatening him, but they were definitely hinting towards it. The fact that the defendant does not testify on his own behalf should not be fodder for the courts, nor to interpret for guilt. Justice, clarity, fairness, and facts, not assumptions. I think that was wrapped up pretty well. Some other stuff I seen on on Twitter that was interesting. This is these longer shit. I might have to just come back and react to these at different times. Let's see.
By the prosecution of the opening direct examination by the prosecution of the opening direct examination by the prosecution of Kelsey started in the morning. It's still not finished. It's going to continue to tomorrow, and then we'll get cross-examination. Let me catch you up on what happened. Kelsey testified that everything that she had told prosecutors and investigators before, suggesting that Tory had shot at Meg, was a lie. That she did it, why? To protect herself. Why was she protecting herself? She didn't want to incriminate herself. The opening...
That's crazy, bro. Then you see the Desiree Perez daughter lawsuit and the CEO of Rock Nation lawsuit. No one's covering it, and just how length that she'll go to get what she wants. I'll probably break this down a little later. Let's look at this.
He should rot in jail. They praised him. They praised Tory going to jail. They said he should rot in jail. They praised him getting physically assaulted in jail. They said he should get deported and never have a chance to stay in America. All these heinous ass things these women was on here saying, just for video cam footage to come out today of Megan Thee Stallion saying, I just want to go home. I'm trying to make sure I don't go to jail. Sweetheart, why would you go to jail if you a victim in this situation? First of all, if a man just shot you, you didn't say nothing about a gunshot wound. You didn't say your foot hurt. You didn't say you need stitches. You didn't say help me stop the bleeding. You ain't say take me to the hospital. I need some pain medication. You said you wanted to go home. You said you wanted to go home. Also, another witness that was at the scene said that he heard two women arguing before the gunshots went off. So we supposed to hear all of this. And is this supposed to be definitive? Fuck Tory Lanez, protect black women. This is the problem with the idiocy that follows supporting the money train that is black women. You just supporting their emotions. You not supporting nothing that's correct. They didn't give Tory Lanez he didn't get a chance to breathe before this was a save black women. Black women are victims poster. They victimized the fuck out.
I just made up some stuff we're going to talk about on the podcast. I said Megan caught red-footed. Now, I really do think the situation with her stepping on glass and not being any blood when she first steps out is very interesting. I think it's very interesting. I want to get in that, see what some other people got to think about that. I'm trying to see, my Twitter was full of this shit. Desiree Perez daughter thanks everyone for the support following the lawsuit. Thank you to everyone supporting and seeing the abuse attacks that Desiree, Rock Nation, and other puppies on social media are doing to send fake evidence, altered photos, AI videos through fake pages to all my followers, friends, etc. I will not, and I repeat, will not be silenced. You look crazy, not me or my husband, from shadow banning to reporting our pages to hiring social media teams to message everyone we know with fake evidence. We are not afraid of bullies. I will not be silenced. You are a team. You and your team are the abusers. You started this and continue to harass us. You and your team are not God. Very interesting. I believe that's her daughter. And the other thing that's very interesting about Perez is that she was actually in the interview with Kelsey in that 90-minute interview that they end up saying that Kelsey was being pressured and stuff like that. And I think if I was the defense in that moment when that happened, they was like, we need to play this, I would have been objection, because pressure can not necessarily be felt or seen all the time. I mean, not necessarily felt, but you necessarily can't. You just can't be shown through a recording. Even sometimes it can't even be shown just by showing a video of somebody. The fact that that person was just standing in a room is enough pressure for her to understand what Rock Nation is present. Why is she even in a room when she has nothing to do with Kelsey in a sense? She's not her lawyer. She's no one's lawyer. She's not even like a lawyer, but she's in the room with them when they're going through something that's going to pretty much be the thing that's going to get Tory shut and sealed. If she can corroborate her point with Megan, it's pretty much over. So that's what my defense would have been, and I would have objected to them playing that, because I'm like, we could play this and we're not supposed to play this, which could already sway the jury, and at the same time not get the point across home that yes, she still could have had pressure on her, bro. Someone standing in a room, or even not standing in a room, bro. If you go against what they say, especially if they possibly paying for your rent conditions, like it's so much stuff that can go into that outside of, oh, let's just replay the 90-minute regurgitated thing and try to see if there's any little thing that we could pick out when there's no video, like there's no one, like we can't see how she's looking and shit like that. Like it's a lot of subtle things that could be picked up through video, but even through, like I said, through that, there's other intimidation factors that wouldn't be picked up because the power stands outside of that room. Milagro account got suspended. People love the shit on her. I think even Act kind of swayed away from her. It was like, oh yeah, the stuff that we was getting from the Tory case trial was a little inconsistent. I disagree. I think everything was consistent. I think people that wasn't even on Tory's side started to lean towards what Tory was, towards Tory's side, just based on what they were hearing when they was paying attention to the facts in the trial. And I think they railroaded him from the evidence and the DNA and how they handled that part of the case, from Megan lying to Sean Kelly changing up his testimony, like to plan a 90-minute Kelsey thing when they shouldn't have. Like, it's a lot of shit that happened. So, but outside of that, that was the 90-minute shit happened last, and I think that was the final thing that pretty much swayed before they went into to the jury room or whatever, to litigate or whatever.
To say, y'all will not believe what I'm about to say, because this was my girl. Like, this was the realest girl I knew in this industry so far. And she disappointed me. Megan. I cannot believe it. Megan, oh my gosh. This cannot be real. Pinch me right now, Megan. Megan. And then there's clips. Megan. It had to be an overly drunk night. Had to be.
I wouldn't explain it because it's 2 years plus 3.5 years. She's just sent a fucking restraining order on a dude. Supposedly, not even supposedly, her actions led to possibly being a hit on his life. Like, bro, no, like, it's more than a drunk night, bro. She's double, triple, quadruple, october, I don't fucking know the word, down on these motherfucking stances.
Had to be. Megan. Like, I'm fooled. Like, I'm in such disbelief. And the fact that he was imprisoned for like that long, basically, for no reason,
but I can't tell her.
That's what gets me also. And then come to find out, your friend was the real shooter. This is some twisted Tubi movie.
I told you.
That y'all need to make. Megan. Y'all.
That's what we're gonna wrap it up at right there, man. I gotta eat a snack before I go to work. I gotta do some other shit before I go to work. And I gotta be there at 5. So, man, I'm out of here. Glad I got to get this out while it's still somewhat trending, man, because I know a lot of people are interested in this conversation. I said, I've been saying free Tory. Megan, find God, apologize, do something at this point, because your career is over. Your career is dead. It was already dead. Like, but now it's gonna be even worse, because at the end of the day, Tory sacrificed himself for you and Kelsey to maintain a life. And I know people can call him stupid and all this other shit because most people would behave very selfishly in those moments, and I understand it. I would probably too. But he was just one guy, possibly trying to be a saint in the situation and thinking that maybe he could get out of it too, because at the end of the day, he didn't do the shooting. And if it would have came down to court, he would have got out. That's why I don't think he didn't take the plea deal. And I also think, like I said, I think he thought he had an edge in court. And I also think that, what was I about to say? Fuck, I had it. But yeah, like I said, I'll wrap it up here. I said, I understand people think Tory was stupid, but that's what I was going to say. He couldn't really say too much before the trial because anything could have been looked at a certain way. If he would have came out and said that Kelsey did it, that don't stop the prosecution from trying him. And that don't stop them from using that as evidence of why he might have tried to manipulate the situation. Like, if we being honest, he pretty much had a gag order on him throughout those whole 2 years. He spoke up a little bit, but at the end of the day, that was as much as he could say. But I'm out.